Hey everyone, happy holidays to all of you. Most of you are perhaps in what you could consider the 4D timeline right now, and that's for divine reasons. And some of you are up on the 5D. So we're just fluctuating back and forth, and this is the duality we've been given information on over the last few months that you would be experiencing this. So great. We're at kind of a divine rest. So much has transpired this month, and what I'm given right now, we're just let's say, yeah, just at a rest. I suggest for everyone, don't do too much and just go through the motions as you are. But as you all know, big things are happening behind the scenes, and but will be coming to the forefront here. Things are going to be revealed. Many good things are happening. Many indications of what we speak about and deliver that it is so, that it is coming to fruition as well. And as always, we say that unless for myself, what I deliver to you, unless I'm given definite dates, we do not use it, but we know that we are always in great progress and in the transitional stage between two timelines, trying to transition an upper 4D into a lower 5D, and that is our divine tasking. But for us, there is separation between these timelines, and distinctively, many of you have come to see this and to know this, and Sharon Piccola, we were just speaking last night and the other day, and she shared, where a half hour or more should have transpired when actually only 1 minute transpired. So, that alone is a very important indication of her multi-dimensional abilities, and also to show, that she can transcend time. But all of you can, and we all do it. And some of you have your own confirmations of it. Others, you will see it in the future. And these are part of our gifts. And as we keep raising up higher and higher, uh, doing our vibratory things and raising our frequencies. Uh, and when we're in the higher 5D timelines, that's where you are graced with seeing more of your divine magic work. Uh, you can manifest higher in the higher timelines, but your energetics that you are given while in the higher timelines are actually what you utilize when you come down lower. So again, if you can look at it in a way that you go up into high vibration, you get energized, and you come down and you apply effect, and well, you apply the effect, and the cause comes as a result of your effect. As you know, you don't, you just merely, let's say, affect things by the good intent. You plant that seed, and you don't need to make the cause. The cause happens because of the effect. So, just getting off of that quickly, I was divinely told to go to the U.S. Um, for approximately 3 months down the Western Seaboard, as I alluded to before, to meet with many of you and to transfer codes. Now, as a result of that, I attempted just to cross the border as a regular human being, like a hippie guy and an old beat up camper, if you will. So I tried that 3 times, got denied 3 times, and they more so, let's say, look at me because I don't have any ownership really, that they denied me entry because of laws. Now, having said that, it was such a pleasant experience the whole 3 times, because you're always learning new things and see how systems are set up to, let's say, instill fear, to degrade one, and to try to get one to give away their consent. And so it was quite an amazing experience, and I love it. So as of yet, the gate has not opened for me to go south. What I'm given by divinity is that it's still a very real possibility here in the near future. We'll see what transpires with that. I will say that as a result of changes currently, good big changes that I'm kind of put on hold here right now. So that is very good. I also can share with you, and it's always, my deepest appreciation, and I am always totally impressed by the divine feminine, of their prowess. And having said this, during three attempts at the border, I'm detained and taken over, and they check your status and all of this. Any of you familiar with it? But two of those times, there was a female was there. She's doing her job. She's not awakened, but it was so interesting to see that at both times, both females, I knew they felt me, and because tears welled up kind of in their eyes. They knew what was happening was really unjust, and there was no reason to keep me out, and they knew that, but they also felt in their hearts. So I was very happy to see that, because guess what? Those 2 females have just been activated, and I would say they may not be in that line of work long, but in our futures anyway, borders may not be there very long as well, because what they do and what they are, and globally all these borders are coming down where we are in the future. So another thing, I'm not given all the information as to why I was not divinely escorted, if you will, from the higher realms into the U.S., but what I'm given is that I had to go and experience this firsthand at the borders, which I did. I already had previous knowledge of it, because I was briefed in it before even coming to the planet. How these things worked out, and the basis of them, and the overall intent, which is, yeah, it's kind of distasteful and ridiculous, really. But anyhow, so getting off of that, we are straddling 2 different timelines, and it's important for each one of you to know that, because it's going to become more blatant for you as well. So you are advancing up higher, and you know that. And what's about to come here, I believe, in the near future, is for you angels, I will be giving more of the teachings to those who are ready to begin using their gifts and their divine energy in different ways, more effective ways, and more efficient ways, instead of just trying to apply your love energy to a situation in front of your face where you can transcend time. What we actually do is we can go, let's say, back in time and correct these things before they even occur. And also, when you're able to do that, for instance, if there's one one thing that's going to set off a sequence or an array of negative things, instead of you out here bang, 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 trying to apply love to several things, well, you can do your work much easier and just go back in time and bang, hit the one thing that caused all of these. So that's kind of an example how angels work and how you can work, and you have the abilities to do that. But again, what I always preach, there are things that you do to empower yourself to get you to that level. And fundamentally, again, I'll just reiterate, it's taking control of the fear, not letting it control you, because you do not want fear aspects into your energetic field when you're doing this divine work. You are there to stamp out irritation, impatience, and all of this. And you cannot have your energetic field contaminated with the remnants of that when you're in trying to rectify things with the purest foundation. So it's very important. And, you know, with your physical vessels, to get them up to power, as you know, as quick as you can. Again, there were things you had to do with your physical vessels, and that depends on your consumption of food and drink. And I'm not getting into that. Each one is told what you must do that empowers you, and what resonates with you is what you eat and drink. So it's that simple. We just share, you know, what we suggest that will assist you to go higher. Then it's kind of up to you. But again, I must say that sometimes it's not up to you, because if you don't listen, you become very sick. But then that's your confirmation. So it's always assured that you do what you must by changing what you eat and what you drink. But for those, you know, if you're eating cookies and things, yeah, continue doing it, you know, unless you need to change. And you'll be told that. So anyhow, so I got a few things wrote down here. It's been a while since I've been on. I've been, let's say, doing lots of energy work. There's been so much happening on an energetic level, especially around here where I'm at. And I gave more information in the previous broadcast. I just put it on the post line, or on my timeline here. Linda and I, well, I did an interview probably about perhaps 3 days ago or so. So information is contained in there as well about the energetic events transpiring around this time. So we got much going on, and just check this. A couple things on the 4D timelines you may wish to look at is the troop withdrawal that Trump is doing from overseas. You know, there's perhaps the news is given out other reasons, but let me say that the troops are actually being called back because they are part and parcel to a martial law that may be required to be initiated within the U.S. So the troops are all more or less being called back just to keep things smooth in case there's any chaos that happens. You know, there's going to be little bumps and things, but in preparation for that, the troops are being withdrawn from these areas as well. So we're in huge times of transition. Now, this is happening on the 4D timeline, the higher 4D timeline that we are repairing here and transcending it into 5D. So we can exist on a timeline above that where it does not occur, but we are fluctuating back and forth because you are the angels, you are the ones that are empowered beyond anything else here upon the surface, but you are governed by the overall divine plan. So you are subordinate to the divine plan, but you're being given your divine sovereignty here on these lower echelons of 5D. And some of you at this time do go to what you call 6D, 7D. You know, we'll use those labels because I put a post out about the Ascended Masters. Many have those as guidelines to at least have an inkling of what they are. And they are so important. Everyone needs some sort of instruction or direction in the least. And all of these instructions, they may vary somewhat, but they're all in line to converge to your ultimate prowess. So each must, you know, follow these to the best of their abilities. So, troops, yeah, being hauled back. Your stock market crashing. Now, what we're given for the QFS timeline, the new quantum financial system, is that the stock markets are all based on pillage, let's say non-virtue, just to get the whole bag of it. So that cannot exist where we're going. Anything foundationed and anything not non-virtuous has to implode when we're done on the 5D timeline. Till we get there, there is a transition. And part of this quantum financial system will be an alleviation for the higher angels that have, let's say, raised their frequency and their vibration to fit with their divine mission and purpose to facilitate things. So it's not everyone, to my knowledge, going to that timeline at once. It's kind of an integration process for each, but there may be a lot just go there. The timeline is already there. And let me say that. And I don't wish for this to be confusing for you. And at this point, you know, it should not. If you can imagine that you can access two different towns, if you will. One town, everything is free, and the other town, you got to buy everything. So just look at that way, maybe, if that analogy assists you in comprehending what I'm saying. Also, on the 4D level, what we see is the NQI Act in the US, and that is the National Quantum Initiative Act. And what that is a 5-year act. How should I put this? It's a 5-year plan, and this was just endorsed by Trump several days ago. And what it is, it's to enact certain provisions in alignment with establishing a futuristic quantum financial system. So this is on the 4D. On the 5D, the QFS is slightly different because it's comprised of angelic energetics, which is different to what is on the 4D. So there's different things in the way they work. However, what I just mentioned, this NQI, is a definite indication that the 4D is that, and they have no choice for what's to come as the whole planet eventually transitions out of the use of money and the control of money. There will be money not given any set time. You know, there will be monetary exchanges occurring, yes, for some sort of length of time. I'm not given how long that is because, again, a lot of things depend on energetics, and it also depends on the individual where you are at in your vibration. So there are many variables with that, and just one statement will not fit all of you because you're at different levels with it. So, but definite good steps. Wish to look at let's say the yellow vest thing about the gas prices. I want to touch on this 4D thing again, just for a moment. Like, I'm up here in Canada, and per liter of gas in Ontario, it's around $1.02 perhaps at the moment, while in Vancouver out here, it's $1.38 a liter. Which is absolutely ridiculous. And the price per barrel of oil, what gas and oil is supposedly based on, to at least some degree, it is pretty low at this time. And again, what your government is doing, what the government of Canada is doing here, and the provincial government in BC, it's total pillage of the people again. But with the whole money concept, that's really kind of a bubble thing that for us, we are not really involved in, but we have to dissolve it on the 4D so that who's on the 4D can transcend into the 5D timeline. So, having said that, one of the things, and yeah, I'm still smoking natural though, good ones. Having said that, there's a yellow vest protest, and I see that there was one in Canada just recently as well. So what you're seeing is that Israel, UK, Canada now, perhaps US, you see the yellow vest protests beginning to take more ground and expanding. And for any of you, without, getting involved at the lower levels, standing holding a placard or a sign, you know, and joining the protests, you can efficiently, and this is for the higher advanced ones that know how to do it, you can assist with this by planting seeds energetically in higher areas, perhaps to you wish to see more protesters instead of, maybe 1,000, you wish to see 10,000, 100,000. Well, you can do your energetic works from where you're right at to initiate that energy to get more out, to expedite what is occurring here, to get Ascension as well. That's just an example of, some of the things that you will be doing in the near future, and some of the things that you can do angelically to change things here very quickly upon coming into more of your prowess. So you don't, once your angelic prowess is in place, you don't really need to, work manually anymore. You can, or primitively, hands-on, you can actually work with the energy. So it's much more advanced, and these things are, these things will be, these are what you will be doing, and the way you'll utilize these. Need a little bit more light here. Okay, batteries begin to run low. I want to touch on, so again, you are in the sanctuary of the 5D, so you're fully protected, and this is where you learn more of your angelic gifts, how to apply them, and also what to do. And when you're up there in that sanctuary, there's the QFS, which will kick in some form or manner for you here in the future. Again, I'm not given any time other than it's locked in. That timeline is here, and it is accessible upon certain conditions. And so we do know that's there, and we're not given a time when it's readily accessible, but with everything transpiring here on the 4D, I don't believe it's very far. Okay. So with the angelics as well in the future, we'll be teaching a little bit more in depth about portals, about your light work, and about the ESPs. and your extrasensory perceptions and prowess. And it's important to know these, because all of you, you might not even know, like clairsentient, clairvoyant, clairaudient, telepathy, telekinesis. These are all classed as ESP powers, but each one of you can do all of them upon the right conditions and advancing yourself to do that. And this is the magic. So it's important to perhaps look at that if you are not already knowledgeable on it, and introduce yourself to it. And it's cool things, and it's, let's say, it's a prerequisite to your divine gifts as well. You want to know what gifts you have, how you can utilize them to make things better for all of humanity. Well, hey, this is the way. And it's totally effective, and it is divinity at its fullest, and it is divinely supported that these are some of the gifts that you can utilize. The ships, we request for more of you that have not heard this perhaps before, bring your ships in closer. So again, we are saying that. Bring your ships in closer. For those of you that are allowed to record and take the pictures of them, please take it. Take the pictures, your recordings, continue to share them with others. All of your profound, miraculous experiences, get them out, share with your community, with the others, and let them know that it's happening. We don't want anyone going back into places of doubt and fear. So all of this strengthens the whole. So very, very good. And that's what we are. We are all one. We are a team. And, our mission is to do everything good and right and of love, and to also raise humanity out of the darkness where it is on those 4D timelines as well, and to transition as many as we can upon divine approval into the higher timelines. But again, not all are like you. We raise a number up to the 5D, but you're not restricted. You can go 6D, 7D, and perhaps even 39D upon getting your multi-dimensional abilities. So know that these sort of things are coming. Stay on track. Keep focused. Don't be wavered. Don't be dissuaded. And the greatest virtue to practice during all this is patience. We got to wait, right? I've been, and I'll openly admit, I get kind of antsy because I'm excited. I know the futures, and like I just been sitting around the last couple days waiting for things to incubate, and then we get our cues. So sometimes we got to wait for things to happen and set up before we can act. So, on those periods, you just move slow if you're, and what have you, and you get through it. So, having said that, I'm going to check this list here. Battery getting low. Okay. Well, it looks like it's pretty well it anyhow. One other thing I've wrote down, you have to learn first, then divine task later. And I partially answered that. The prerequisites is getting rid of the fear, standing in your strength, owning your divinity. If you feel you are God, you proclaim that you're God, because that is part of your divinity. If you feel you are a God and you don't own it, what you actually do is disempower yourself because of the mentality that's associated with that. You actually degrade yourself back down where you're not a god or what have you. So it's important to look at just what transpires when perhaps you become too modest. You know, in the least, you are an angel. Own that. You know, that is a great designation, because an angel has great prowess with it, and you know that's a good thing to own, and it also empowers you to do that. So you get the gist of what I'm saying, and so we are waiting. Uh, there may not be anything really significant until around the 1st of January, what I'm kind of feeling. You know, there's always trivial significant things, but before we get some bigger things and start getting perhaps some news on that, it might be relatively quiet for the next week or so. In the meantime, practice your magic, and you know, take it slow when you're down on the lower timelines. When you're vibing high, that's the time to practice your magic, call in your ships, you know. Uh, have fun with that, whatever you wish to do, or if you wish to have a divine vacation, just go and do it. It's, you know, whatever feels good with you. And many of you too, I've seen your sensations as an empath have become so much higher. You can notice from, let's say, last Christmas to this Christmas, when you're out in the boat, you can actually feel the energetics from people, and the hustle and bustle will affect you more this year than it did last year, and that you really kind of would want to be away from it more, and it might even become unbearable. And the reason is because you have strengthened, you have enhanced, because your empathic abilities are a very important part of your divine prowess. It's one of your important senses. Now, you learn to regulate it later on as well, so that you're not adversely affected in the way that you would feel nauseated out in the crowds and things. But this is all part of the learning process, how to control your prowess, and to not let the effects of what your prowess is control you. Again, it's about the mastering of this. So, and my intentions are, and I believe what I feel here from Father is that, yeah, I'll be getting in the near futures deeper into assisting ones with your gifts, how to bring them online, how to apply them, how to direct them. And any of you that, you know, need to clean up some more of the negativity within you and the fear, you know, we can work on that as well. So we play it by divine timing, and with that, I'm not given fully, concretely the divine plan. So, you know, things are tentative with that. We get, you know, the information as possibilities, and that's what I more so deliver with that, unless I'm told otherwise, which is kind of rarely. But, you know, overall, though, I can say that, yeah, we make it, and, well, really, we made it, and we are going there, and each one of you has your own confirmations that is very indicative of the good change that is transpiring, that you're experiencing it, and you know it's true. And you know, keep with all of your beautiful confirmations you have. At times when it's, for some of you, if you still resort to a little bit of doubt, that is fear, just remember your highlights of magic that had happened to you, the profound things that would not make sense to a 4D logical mind. then what that does, it takes you up and say, yeah, okay, this magical thing happened. How could it happen? Why would it even happen? You know, if you did not have the ability to rise higher. And as you know, everything does happen for a reason. And you do know that God is real for those of you that may have some doubt, but you're also part of God. You are part of us. You are part of a huge collective, a huge network of angels that are here upon the surface at this time. The angels are growing as more awaken, and you are the most formidable, well, let's say you're the most omnipotent, invincible source that is being created upon the surface to rectify things. So, you know, don't doubt that, and don't disown it. If you disown it, you go back. Well, you don't, but, you know, to disown it keeps you in the mundane. And I know many of you don't wish to be there. And you're tired, but those are your sensations of that, because your soul knows its abilities and where it wants to go, and your soul will lead you to these highlights, to your higher vibration, when you pay attention to them. You even do things that are unpredictable. If you're in a place you don't feel good, just get out of there and do things unpredictable to shake off the negativity from that, and retain your composure as an empowered light being of what you are. So I love you all, and I gotta let you go, and kisses and peace, and have fun. So I love you. Good night. Thank you. Bye now.